Have you ever been told to just focus harder? Here's why that doesn't work. Your brain is wired differently. In this video, we're looking at 3 networks that work differently in ADHD. Not better or worse, just different. And understanding this changes everything because it reframes your entire experience from character flaw to neurological difference. In this section, we're going to cover 3 brain networks that work differently in ADHD. The key term here is brain networks. A brain network is a group of brain regions that work together to perform specific functions. Think of it like a team. Different players, different positions, all working toward the same goal. In ADHD, 3 networks show consistent differences. The executive control network handles planning, working memory, and impulse control. In ADHD, this network shows underactivation. It's working harder to achieve less. The default mode network is your mind-wandering network. It activates when you're daydreaming or thinking about yourself. In a neurotypical brain, the default mode network quiets down when you need to focus externally. In ADHD, it doesn't. It keeps running, competing for attention. The reward and motivation network processes rewards and drives motivated behavior. In ADHD, this network shows reduced activation for delayed rewards. Your brain doesn't fire as strongly for payoffs that are far away. To summarize that, 3 networks are working differently in ADHD. The executive control shows underactivation, the default mode network won't quiet down, and the reward system doesn't respond well to distant payoffs. In this section, we're going to cover what underactivation actually means for your daily life. The term we're working with here is underactivation. Underactivation means the brain regions aren't firing as strongly as they need to for a given task. It's not that nothing is happening, it's that the signal is weaker. Here's what this looks like in real life. In terms of working memory, you're mid-sentence and lose your train of thought. In terms of planning, you know what needs to happen but can't figure out the order. And in terms of impulse control, you interrupt someone before you've even realized you're speaking. These aren't character flaws. Your executive control network is working harder for less output. I can be mid-sentence with a friend and realize I've had an entire internal conversation about something unrelated. I know exactly what's happening neurologically, but it still happens. So, in summary, underactivation in executive control means your brain is working harder than a neurotypical brain to achieve the same results, and it shows up as forgetfulness, planning difficulties, and impulsivity. In this section, we're going to cover how the default mode network creates internal distractions. The key concept here is default mode network interference. Default mode network interference means your mind-wandering network stays active when you're trying to focus on external tasks. In neurotypical brains, the default mode network and executive control network take turns. One goes up, the other one goes down. In ADHD, they both stay active at the same time. That's network competition. They're fighting for the same resources. This is why you can be sitting in a meeting, looking directly at someone and not hear a word they're saying. Externally, you look fine. Internally, your default mode network is running an entire parallel narrative. I see this in my practice constantly. Adults saying, I can focus, I just can't remember what I focused on. That's the default mode network. You were physically present. Your attention was somewhere else. So in summary, the default network creates internal distractions by staying active when you need to focus externally. This is why you can look like you're paying attention, but your mind is completely somewhere else. In this section, we're going to cover how the reward system works differently in ADHD. The term here is reward anticipation deficit. Reward anticipation deficit means your brain doesn't fire as strongly when anticipating future rewards. It's not about receiving the reward, it's about anticipation. Your brain responds fine to immediate rewards. The problem is delayed ones. Here's the pattern. This is why deadlines only work when they are urgent. Why you can't start the project that's due next month. Why just think about your future doesn't motivate you. Your reward system needs immediate feedback. This explains procrastination, task initiation, paralysis, and why you work best under pressure. It's not laziness. It's a measurable difference in how your brain responds to anticipated rewards. To summarize, your reward system doesn't fire strongly for delayed payoffs. This is why deadlines feel impossible until they're urgent, and why future consequences don't motivate present behavior. In this section, we're going to connect brain differences to real strategies. So, what does that actually mean for your brain? It means your struggles aren't about trying harder. They're about brain networks that work differently. Executive underactivation means you need external structure. Default mode network interference means you need active engagement. Passive focus won't work. Reward deficits mean you need immediate feedback, not delayed payoffs. Network competition means you need to reduce cognitive load, simpler tasks, fewer demands at once. And here's the crucial part. These differences are structural. They don't go away with effort or willpower, but they can change with the right interventions. Your brain has neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity means that your brain can form new connections and strengthen underactive networks over time. It's not fast, it's not easy, but it's possible. I still have days where I can't find my keys, miss appointments, and feel like I've learned nothing. The knowledge doesn't make it go away, but it gives me a framework for what might help. Not every time, but more often. So, to quickly recap the 3 key points of today's video, there are 3 networks working differently in ADHD brains: executive control, default mode network, and reward networks. The second point of today's video is these differences show up as underactivation, default mode network interference, and reward anticipation deficits. And the third point of today's video is strategies only work when they match your brain's actual wiring, not when they demand your brain to work like a neurotypical brain. Okay, in the next video, we're diving into the 3 presentations of ADHD: inattentive, hyperactive, impulsive, and combined, and why these labels don't define you. If this was helpful, subscribe. Leave a comment. Which brain network difference explains your experience the most? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.